Hey folks, it's Troy. It's the middle of summer in Texas and it's hot. But I thought I'd share this little micro adventure with you. So, pretty much I've just been staying in, taking day hikes, things like that around the town. Haven't gone on any great adventures this summer at all. But I thought about this little trail that I haven't actually hiked before and thought I'd check it out. Just gonna go for one evening. I'm gonna hike in, I think it's about 3 miles, spend the night, hike back out. Pretty simple. So I'm right here, and let's see if you can see that sign. It's the Comanche Bluff Trail, and I'm actually at this trail goes along a lake called Granger Lake, and we're just gonna go check it out. So this is the Hoaxie Bridge, and it's closed for crossing. I don't know exactly why, but you just walk down on the trail that goes below it. I think it's supposed to be haunted. It's a Saturday evening. Got a late start. I didn't leave my house till 7. I didn't get here till 8. And so I have about 3 miles to hike, I think. And it should be getting dark about 8:40, 8:50 maybe. So there's a good chance that for 20 minutes or so I may be hiking in the dark, setting up camp in the dark. We'll see. Hopefully I can make good time. This is kind of what the trail looks like when you're hiking in the dark. I don't think the camera's picking up everything. It's actually much lighter. And there's a little uphill section. It's early. I think it's only about 8:20 and it's already dark, but yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe because I'm under cover, I'm under the forest, but it's already dark. Well, I guess I missed the sunset, but this is the dusk. It's pretty. I was walking in the dark, just using the moonlight and the stars, and then there's a noise, and this huge feral hog ran across the path no more than 10 feet in front of me, and so now I'm using a flashlight. So right here is the trail, and then there's a little bit of brush, and then right out there, I don't think you're gonna be able to see it, but that's actually part of the lake where it's becoming a river, the San Gabriel River. So one of the things you have to be wary of when hiking at night are these spider webs that hang over the trail. This one is a fantastic one, actually. So I was just walking, kind of minding my own business. And I kind of paused for a second because I thought I heard something on the trail. And then I took like maybe 2 or 3 steps. And then like no more than 5 feet away from me was a baby skunk. And I startled it and it startled me. And as soon as I saw the skunk, I just started high stepping. And he wasn't able to spray me at all. I'm so glad. But I didn't even think about that as being a hazard out here, but you do have to kind of be wary of different wildlife you come across. Skunk. Hope he's okay. It's a little baby skunk. And welcome to Fox Bottom Primitive Camp Area. I made it to camp. It's about 9:15. It's about 3.9 miles. And it took me a little bit under 2 hours. 1 hour, 45 minutes, more or less. But I'm here. Time to set up camp. Okay, so I arrived at camp, and this is going to be my camp dinner. That's a cucumber that I grew in my garden, some instant mashed potatoes, and this is some salmon that I seasoned. And I'll be topping it off with this Mama's Little Yellow Pilsner. So this is my Imberlit fire ant. It's a miniature twig stove. And on top, I'm just boiling water in the pot. And on the side, I'm cooking my salmon. Once the water's done, I'll probably move the salmon to the top. Okay, so these are my instant mashed potatoes. I've poured the potatoes into the water. I'm stirring it. And basically, I pre-seasoned these mashed potatoes with some salt and pepper and some other spices. But I'm also going to try something, some ghee, which is basically like butter. So I'm going to pour that in there. Hopefully that'll make it nice and buttery. Alright, so you can see how my fish is cooking over my little twig stove. I just feed wood into the little window and it keeps going. And then I just flip over the fish every once in a while. Okay, so this is my dinner. I have some salmon, some mashed potatoes, cucumber, and a Pilsner. So before I even started cooking, I set up my camp, and it's basically a hammock. And it's a little difficult to see it in the dark, but there it is right there, strung up to that tree. The ropes are reflective, so you can see it a little better, but that's my hammock set up. Pretty simple. So this is the San Gabriel River, and there's actually quite a bit of fish action right now. I think they might be carp. I tried to fish a little bit, but no luck along the shore. They all seem to be a little further out. So this is what part of the trail looks like during the day. And see that it's early morning and the sun is just rising. So I'm hiking back, and last night was kind of interesting. You know, I arrived at the trailhead kind of late. I think it might have been close to 8, and then set out. It's about half the time I was walking with some daylight, and then it got dark, so half the time I was walking in the dark. And when I was walking by this section, I couldn't even tell that the river was right there. It was so dark. But anyway, now I'm just kind of walking and exploring. I may try to do some fishing if I find a good spot. can see right there an armadillo. He's just kind of foraging in the ground, digging up insects. There you go. It's rather warm already this early in the morning, and the sun's pretty low on the horizon still. So this is what most of the trail looks like. You're walking through a forest, so there's quite a bit of shade from the trees, and then there's some openings, and there's only some kind of subtle inclines and declines, nothing really of any long distance, just maybe 50 feet or so. The trail has been generally pretty well maintained. There's some brush in some areas, but it's pretty clear. All right, so this trail is about 7.8 miles total, more or less 4 miles in, 4 miles out. Mostly shade, I'd say. A few ups and downs, and but overall, pretty easy trail. I only saw like maybe one other backpacker, and there were 2 other hikers. That's pretty good. I'm back at the parking lot, and it's time to go home.